So let me set the stage real quick and then we'll get right to the interview. First of all, hi, I'm Andrew. I'm with Investors Hub, and today we're going to be talking with Jea Yu. He's a longtime trader, and we're going to be talking about the merger between SBE and ChargePoint. That vote is on February 11th, and shortly thereafter, they will merge to become CHPT. So they're just a really interesting company. Lots of people are excited about them because they exist in both the SPAC space, which is really hot right now, and the EV space, which is really hot right now. So I wanted to make a video dedicated to just talking about them. Please note that our videos are not designed to be direct investing advice. We're here to gather the perspective of different investors. Our channel and our content should just be one stop on the journey of trying to find out where to put your money. So SBE is voting to merge with ChargePoint on the 11th. Do you think the people that are in at SBE at $40 are going to get burned?
Very likely, yeah. Now, the good news is there is still some time because the daily chart on SBE is actually pretty strong. So it will likely take a pop. I said, if it were me, I would be basically dumping my shares up to 45 and then waiting for the vote. And usually when they vote, which is the 11th, usually almost the very next day, that's when the new symbol is active. And based on history, usually when you get the new symbol, the stock tends to sell off 3 to 5, sometimes 8 days straight. All right, so it's like an IPO in a sense, but the people are thinking that investors are thinking, oh, let me get in before they change the symbol, and then they got to sit through 3, 5, 8 days of sheer pain. All right. So to avoid all that, unless you got in on the pipe or you got in at $11, $12 a share, I would dump it. And then wait 3, 5, 8 days. All right. And then step in. Now, here's what you can use as a reference. There's a stock called Blink Charging, BLNK. All right. This stock is trading around 59. ChargePoint is a much bigger network. They got 115,000 stations. They're adding 2,000 a month. They're the largest in the world. And it's one of those situations where their business basically sucked all these years. So the business didn't change so much as the whole environment around it kind of changed. That's the stuff that's happening with the pandemic and whatnot. But this whole move towards decarbonization, clean energy, right? So the charging. So Blink Charging, they're the biggest, right? They are the real deal. And so if after they reverse and then the symbol gets changed, watch BLNK, Blink, all right, as an indicator. And basically, if you can get the shares in the 20s, all right, I know that sounds cheap, 20s, low 30s, that's a good price, especially if when Blink's trading, in the high 50s, right? ChargePoint is the real deal. That's the go-to stock. So, the first couple of days, it's gonna feel like a nightmare, all right, based on all the other stocks that reverse merged. H2 was HCCH, right? Seven trading days in a row, this thing sold off. This is the green hydrogen company, and now it's Fusion Fuel. All right, that stock sold off for 7 straight trading days down to 15.21 before it rallied back up to 25 and even higher. Canoe, all right, Go EV was HCAC, Hennessy Capital. Went to 24.40, sold off for 8 straight days until it got to 12, finally bottomed and bounced. Romeo Power, all right, used to be RMG, right? That sold off for 5 straight days down to 18.20 before it finally bounced. So just keep in mind that likely there's going to be a lot of people dumping their shares. And if you can get it in, like I said, if you can get it in the 20s or 30s, that's a great price. All right, especially for a business it's not a startup. They've been around for a long time. It's a real business. And as far as the charging is concerned, look, you get an EV, most people are going to charge their EVs at home. just like you would a cell phone, a smartphone every night, But the thing is, whenever you have to make long trips or whatever, that's when you're looking for a charging station. So I think ChargePoint is a great stock to own, but you want to make sure you give it time. Now, here's a little trick. So once again, watch Blink Charging, right? BLNK. Use that kind of as a gauge, because when SBE changes its symbols, Blink's probably going to drop. The whole sector is going to drop. There's another stock called Beam. All right. There's a pattern called a market structure low. All right. So what you want to do is just watch it on a daily basis. Look at the daily chart. Whenever you get 3 or more consecutive lower lows, all right, the tails, 3 or more lower lows, all right, and then you get a higher low. That's where you get your hammers, your bottom. But whatever that higher low candle is, the high of that candle, just set a line right there. And that's what's called a market structure low buy trigger. And that will be the trigger where you can step in and buy. So 3 or more red candles, lower lows, and then after 4, 5, 6, whatever, wherever you get the higher low, all right, the high of that candle, that's your buy point. Okay. A lot of people are getting into the trading game, and they're just learning about candlesticks, and they're learning about, hammers and shooting stars. But a hammer candle, which is it illustrates capitulation bottom, doesn't really matter so much unless it's preceded by 3 or more, red candles. And then it's only confirmed after you get a higher low candle right after the hammer candle. All right. Mark that, the high of that, and then that would be the point you want to get in to go long. Okay. And then once again, like I said, watch Blink, BLNK. It is nothing compared to ChargePoint, and just know that you'll be getting shares a lot cheaper than the people holding Blink. So yeah, so that's what you want to do. If it were me, all right, it's not investment advice, but like I said, if it were me, I'd be dumping. Everyone's excited about the vote. Obviously, they're going to vote for it, vote to approve it. The question is when they're going to change the symbol, right? But I would be selling right into the pop. All the people who think that this thing is going to gap up the next day like an IPO, they don't know history. And it doesn't say anything bad about the company. It just tells you that, it's just the mechanisms, it's the mechanics of how these specs work.
Thanks for watching. If you like the content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at iHub_vision, and I'll see you again soon.